Okay, we're filming once again. Here we are. I'm going to decorate a mud cake, folks. So I baked this cake off previously, and it's, sorry about the shot, but this is the best camera angle I can get in my house. In any case, don't worry about a small kitchen. You can do anything in a small kitchen. I can do anything here. So besides the point, we've made ourselves a mud cake here. We're going to decorate it. I did an earlier episode where I talked about ganache and its melting point. Now, you want a ganache that's going to be able to stand up to room temp, basically. Alright, so that's what we've done. We've made ourselves a nice ganache here. We're going to decorate the mud cake, and I'm going to show you some of my style that I put into it. You can decorate a mud cake a couple of different ways. This one we're doing, I would call average. This, I would no less dress it up than I am today. But however, if we're going to do like a wedding cake, I'm going to do a whole lot more stuff to it. So when people ask me, you know, what's the difference between a wedding cake and a mud cake sitting in the shop window, a lot more work goes into a wedding cake. There might be supports, there might be chocolate collar around it, there might be lots of other different sorts of techniques I tie into it, but not today. So we've made some chocolate flowers in a previous video, and I'm going to be putting them on this mud cake today. Alright. First we're going to grab ourselves a nice big wedge. That's the chocolatey stuff. I'm going to keep going too. Needs a lot more. Right on top there, folks. This stuff's been out of the fridge for roughly, I don't know, 12 hours or so. Start spreading it out. You want it quite pliable. Worst thing you can do is do a runny ganache, because then it's not going to sit on you. As you can tell, it's got like a bit of a matte look, this. We can shine it up a little. We'll use a different technique for that, but anyway, we'll talk about that as we go through. So, I'm going to grab myself some of that, and we're just going to work it into the edges. Now, some people might use like a turntable or that sort of thing. To be quite honest, I've never used one. I just spin it. Anyway, make sure you seal the cake properly. Now, when I say seal it, it means your palette knife will go all the way to the bottom of the cake. Alright. And we're just going to knock that bit off there. Alright. Grab ourselves a little bit more. Like a plasterer here. Anyway. Camera angle's not the best, but it's what we've got. Okay, alright. We're getting there, starting to take shape. Right. Tell you what, that's the perfect amount of ganache. This might be, it's a little, the ganache today is a little bit tough. That's okay. A little bit tough. I prefer a firmer set than a soft set, because I'll tell you what, if it was a soft set, you'd never hear the end of it. Alright, you're going to build it up on the edges. Build it right up. Make sure that palette knife goes all the way to the bottom of the cake board. Okay, all the way. So, alright, so we're going to start taking it back in now. So now we want that nice sharp 90-degree sort of look to the edge of our cake, so we're going to start taking it back, pull it towards the middle, just like that. Don't worry about it yet, it's going to look fine when it's done. People won't see the mistakes, trust me. Build it right up on the edge. You want it up and over the top, so when you go like that, you get that nice square sort of look. Build that up a little bit there. there. little bit more. So just building that edge up. Okay. Mind you, a lot of this, any imperfections will be hidden too by a lot of piping work that we're going to be doing on this cake, so trust me, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, you see all the lines that I'm getting on top of the cake, and most people will try to fiddle around with it, try to get it really good, you know, like, trust me, I've got a method. You're not going to see that at the end of the day. Right, so I'm going to grab a comb scraper. So I've got a couple of different sorts here. I like this one. I've got a nice high cake, but I really do like the fat scraper. See that one? Okay, so I'm going to rip the fat scraper around, keeping it on the bottom. Don't worry, you got a little bit of stuff on the board, don't worry about it, we're going to clean that up later. Okay, we found a hollow spot on our cake. Your comb scraper will do that, so you just add a little bit in there. Throw the comb back into it. There we go. There's a bit of a flat spot there as well. So we just run that round there like that. Starting to get nice and pointy. We want that pointy edge to our. That's it. That's the one. All right. So I was talking about the top earlier. So I was saying, don't worry about all these lines you've got on the top. So what I'll do is I'll start running the tap. I want some nice hot water. That's where the magic comes in, folks. Okay, now she's nice and warm. Never get wooden near chocolate. Anyway, we're going to heat up our knife here. This is a nice sort of, I think this is a Gustav. Very good quality German knife. Anyway, heat your knife right up. We want one that's nice and warm. Okay. Then we're going to wipe all the water off it. And then with that, we're going to pull it across the top of our cake, just like that. And it's going to hide all the imperfections that we had there earlier. You can get creative with it, get a nice swirl into it. There we go. And we're just going to clean up the edge here. Clean up the edge here. There we go. Presto. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the fridge for a few minutes. Here we go, folks. I'm going to stick this in the fridge for a few minutes. And I want the ganache to set before I start piping on it, okay? And we might even clean the board up a little before we do that. Okay. Right. You always want a clean board. It's just part of the look, folks. You know, you don't want chocolate over everything. If you're going to be a professional, you might as well take it all the way. Okay. There we go. Nice clean board. There we go. I didn't get any chocolate on myself either. Alright, we'll be back in a minute and we'll finish this one up. Okay folks, so there's a little ant there. Okay folks, so we've got our mud cake out of the fridge. It's set. I'm happy with the set. And we're going to start filling our piping bag. We're going to do some piping work. I don't use those silly plastic things. These are what pros use. Get yourself one. They're cloth bags. Once you get one, you'll have one forever, but I've got a few of them in the cupboard, so yeah, don't bother with those plastic silly things. You'll get a much better piping feel out of a bag like this. Oh, I'm using a medium sort of plastic tube. Now, why would I use a plastic tube over a metal tube? Metal tubes, the teeth on them move. Plastic tubes never move. That's why I use a plastic tube. Alright? Okay. So my method of using a piping bag is you fill it and then you sort of wring its neck round there and then put some tension onto it. That way you'll keep the pressure in the bag. Okay? That way you can pipe nicely and get some nice rosettes. Hopefully, if you've done your ganache right, you'll get some nice sharp lines out of these rosettes. Right, moving along, just turn it around, you don't need a carousel. Oh, so we've got a chocolate bumper there, push that out, alright, okay. Moving back, turn it around. There we go. Keep lining them up next to each other. Or you can separate the cake into 12 and do the 12 thing. I don't know. I just like a nice border, so I'll put it all the way around. And you'll see why in a minute, because when we get the chocolate pieces out, that's where they're going to go. Okay, so right, so usually when I do a cake, I always choose the best side. Normally there's a better side of a cake. So, okay, so I'm gonna call that the front. And then I'm gonna put this here. Why, you ask? That's where our plaque is gonna go later. Okay, so it looks like I've emptied out the whole bag. Yeah, that doesn't need to be too particularly pretty because it's going to be all hidden up. So once you've piped your rosettes onto it, back in the fridge for another minute or two. Okay folks, this is the last half of the video. In the first part of the video we iced the cake in ganache. The second part we sort of put the rosettes and made it look pretty. This is the last part, and hopefully you've done your chocolate work right. It's all going to come together now. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get these bits, snap these squares off. You get, oh, look at that. Hopefully you got these nice squares done nicely. You snap them in half, you end up with these little triangles. And we're just going to put them into our cake like such. One's going to be straight down, the other one's going to be on like a bit of a 45-degree angle. Okay, so we're just going to rinse and repeat that all the way around the cake. Now with these folks you can actually do a chocolate flower with these little pieces. I'm going to show you how. You get 5 of them because everything in nature has odd numbers. So you need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another one. 5. There we go. And that is our first style of chocolate flower. We've got another one on the way here, folks. So I'm just going to rinse and repeat a few of these. Quite nice. Okay. There we go. That's the end of the triangle ones. Now I'm going to put some of the other ones on that we've done. Oh, they don't look too good. Anyway, these are the ones. Did them earlier with the spoon. Well, there we go. Did these with the spoon. So primarily I use these for flowers. So you'll get 5 of them, like the other one I was just saying, and you'll stick them on, say, 45-degree angles. That's a nice one. Some of the petals may look better than others, and that's why you'll choose the good-looking ones. That's a good-looking one. There we go. 4. One more. That's a nice one. 5. You might have to move them around just a little bit. But there we go. There's your chocolate flower, folks. Hopefully you don't get too many hand marks on them. But same with the other ones. If you're looking at this one, okay, so we're going to get 2 of these thingies. We're going to put them at 45-degree angles, just knock that bit off. We're actually going to put them opposite of each other. Actually, they look really good like that. There's 2 nice ones. There we go. There's 2 nice ones right there like that. These 2 look good. Right there like that. There we go. So we've decorated our mud cake and we've got all these beautiful chocolate pieces on them. Just like that. Look at that, folks. How much would you pay for that in a shop? There we go. We've got a plaque we're going to put onto this later. I was talking about plaques earlier in a separate video, and I don't write on cakes at all. It's like a bit of a no-no. The reason being is if you stuff up your writing, which it can happen from time to time, you're going to have to rip up the entire cake surface to put across the message that you want to say. Okay, so here we go. Here's our Happy Easter plaque. Gonna place it on a nice friendly angle like that. And there we go. That's our cake. Happy Easter, folks. Have a good one. Hope this is in time for Christmas for you. There we go. Pop that in the fridge, and yeah. There we go. That's the lid we've got for it. I've got a nice big container here. I'll tell you what, you rarely find containers this good, this big that can fit a cake like this in. Hopefully I might be able to get some of these on the market soon. But in any case, there we go. Pop it in, take it over to your mum's place and impress her. There we go.